Welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive?
Always.
Today, we're going on a bit of a treasure hunt, unearthing wisdom from a book that's been quietly influencing people for almost a century now.
Almost a century.
Yeah. It's called It Works.
It works. Published in 1926, more of a pamphlet, really.
Right. But it sold millions of copies.
Millions.
I
Wow.
know. It's pretty amazing. And it continues to intrigue readers even now. So we'll be exploring the 2023 reprint,
Okay, the 2023 reprint,
along with a companion piece called Imagined Story.
The Magic Story. Interesting.
It's fascinating how this little book, It Works, keeps popping up. It's almost like a whispered secret.
A secret.
Yeah, passed down through generations. So we're on a mission to figure out what makes it so special
I'm in.
and see if its success secrets still hold water today.
It's almost like a blueprint for harnessing your own potential.
Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. The title, It Works, is bold, but also super vague.
Yeah, it is.
What exactly is it?
So it refers to the power of your subjective mind.
Subjective mind.
That's how the author puts it. In modern terms, we might call it the subconscious.
Okay, the subconscious.
Right. The idea is that this part of your mind can be harnessed.
Harnessed.
Yeah, harnessed to manifest your desires.
It's kind of like an early version of the law of attraction.
You got it.
Interesting.
R.H. Jarrett, the author, was a successful sales executive,
Okay, sales executive.
but he was also deeply interested in metaphysics.
So he's bridging the gap between practical success and this more spiritual idea of manifestation.
Exactly. He believed that our thoughts have the power to shape our reality.
Okay, so how do we do that?
Well, he lays out 3 simple yet powerful rules.
Rules. Ooh, I love a good set of actionable rules. Give them to me.
Okay, the first rule is to write down your desires, clearly and specifically.
Write them down. Got it.
The second is to review that list 3 times a day, morning, noon, and night.
3 times a day. Make sure you don't forget.
And the third rule, this is where it gets interesting, is to keep your plan a secret.
Secret. Why secrecy?
Jarrett believed that sharing your desires with others could open you up to doubt and negativity,
Oh, I see. Yeah. Doubt and negativity.
which might sabotage your efforts. He encourages you to cultivate a strong inner belief in your goals.
So it's like guarding that seed of intention until it's strong enough to sprout on its own.
That's a great analogy. He actually compares the process of manifestation to planting a seed. You don't need to overanalyze how it works. Just trust the natural process of growth.
So just trust the process.
Right. Focus on the what rather than the how.
The what, not the how.
Be clear about what you want down to the detail.
So no wishy-washy vague desires. You have to be laser focused on the specific.
Laser focus. Exactly. If you want a new car, picture the make, model, color, everything.
Okay.
Jarrett believed in the power of definiteness.
Definiteness, right?
Now, as you start to see progress, your goals will evolve.
They will.
And that's where the idea of updating your list comes in.
Oh, okay. So it's not just a static list. It's a living document that reflects your growth.
Precisely. Removing items from your list isn't failure, it's actually a sign of progress. It means you're refining what you truly want and acknowledging your accomplishments.
I like that perspective. Failure isn't failure if it leads to growth.
Right.
Okay, so he also talks about discredit as an enemy to accomplishment. What's that all about?
Discredit is that sneaky voice of doubt that creeps in when you start seeing success.
Oh, that voice.
It whispers things like, oh, it was just luck, or it was just a coincidence.
Yeah, I know that voice.
Jarrett's antidote: gratitude.
Gratitude.
Acknowledge your wins, but stay humble. Give credit to a power greater than yourself.
Okay, I can see how gratitude could help combat that discredit. Acknowledge the wins.
Yes, he encourages acknowledging the omnipotent power within for all the success you experience, big or small.
Interesting. Omnipotent power.
Now, speaking of stories, let's transition to the magic story. This story beautifully illustrates the power of belief and action.
Okay, I'm ready. What makes the magic story so magical?
Well, it's a story within a story,
A story within a story.
which adds a layer of intrigue. We follow a narrator named Courier,
Courier.
who becomes obsessed with finding a mysterious story. This story is rumored to have a profound impact on everyone who hears it.
Wow, okay, so it's like a literary treasure hunt with a life-changing reward at the end.
Precisely.
Mm.
Along the way, Courier encounters people whose lives have been dramatically transformed after hearing this mysterious story.
Okay, so, like, What kind of transformations are we talking about?
Well, he runs into a former college buddy
Oh, a college buddy.
who went from being down on his luck to thriving as a reporter.
Wow. Okay, that's a big change.
He meets a late-night food vendor
A food vendor.
who, after hearing the story, suddenly buys a restaurant.
Buys a restaurant? That's amazing.
He even meets a group of professionals,
Professional.
a doctor, a lawyer, artist,
A whole mix of people.
all captivated by this story.
So it sounds like this story has some serious ripple effects, but does Courier ever actually get to hear it?
He does, and as listeners, we get to hear it too.
Oh, we get to hear it too. Okay, so tell me, what's the core message of this magic story?
It's about recognizing and embracing your plus entity, which is basically the best, most capable version of yourself.
I love that concept. So it's not relying on some external force, but tapping into your own inner power.
Exactly. It's about the power of self-belief, taking control of your life, and boldly pursuing what you desire. There's a line in the story that says, "To the plus entity of a man, all things are possible. The world belongs to him."
That's powerful.
Yeah.
It's a call to step into your potential. Is there a connection between this plus entity and Jarrett's subjective mind?
Absolutely. They both point to the same idea, aligning your conscious desires with the limitless power of your subconscious mind.
So It Works gives you the practical steps, and the magic story provides the inspiring narrative to back it up.
Exactly. It's a brilliant combination. But here's something I've been pondering, especially in light of our modern world.
Yes,
Do you think there's a danger in focusing too much on individual success?
That's a good question.
Could this hyper-individualistic approach come at the expense of community or collective well-being?
It's a fascinating thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
Could these principles be applied to create a ripple effect of positive change, one that extends beyond ourselves?
It's certainly worth exploring. You know, both It Works and The Magic Story were written during a time of significant change.
Change.
Yeah, social and technological change. The Roaring '20s,
The Roaring '20s.
a period of both great prosperity and upheaval.
So these ideas were emerging in a context where people were already questioning old norms.
Exactly. Looking for new ways to navigate a rapidly changing world.
I can see the parallels to today.
Oh, absolutely. We're facing our own set of unprecedented challenges and opportunities. I think that core message of self-belief, clarity of purpose, and decisive action could be just as relevant today, if not more so.
It makes me think about the idea of collective action.
Collective action.
Yeah. What if we applied these principles to address issues like climate change or social injustice, economic inequality?
Imagine the impact if we combine the power of individual belief with a shared vision for a better future.
It's not about ignoring the complexity of these issues, right?
It's about approaching them with a sense of possibility, a willingness to work together towards solutions.
It's like harnessing that magic of focused intention and action on a larger scale. Instead of just manifesting a new car, we're manifesting a more just and sustainable world.
You got it. And you know what? This idea of collective manifestation, it's actually gaining traction.
Really?
Oh, yeah. In modern spiritual and social movements, people are recognizing that our thoughts and actions have a ripple effect.
They do, they do.
We can collectively contribute to creating a reality that aligns with our values.
Okay, so we're seeing how these seemingly individualistic principles could potentially be applied to create positive change on a larger scale. But let's not forget the personal aspect. These stories offer a powerful message of empowerment for individuals seeking a better life for themselves.
Absolutely. I think that's where the real power lies, in the individual transformation that can then ripple outward.
When we embrace our own potential, we become more capable of contributing to something bigger than ourselves.
Exactly.
It's like that saying, you can't pour from an empty cup. You have to cultivate your own inner strength and well-being before you can effectively help others.
Exactly. And you know what? Both It Works and The Magic Story, they offer practical guidance for doing just that.
Well, they do.
Yeah. They encourage us to clarify our desires, cultivate a positive mindset, and take consistent action toward our goals.
It sounds like a recipe for personal empowerment.
And they remind us that we are not alone in this journey.
Not alone.
No, there's a power within us, and a power greater than ourselves that we can tap into to create the lives we truly desire.
I love that. So we've been talking about the magic of these stories, but it's important to remember that it's not about some mystical force taking over, right?
Right.
It's about tapping into our own inner power.
Yes. And taking responsibility for creating the lives we want.
That's an incredibly empowering message, isn't it?
It is, and it resonates across time and cultures.
Uh-huh.
Whether you're a struggling artist in the 1920s or a modern-day entrepreneur facing the challenges of a rapidly changing world, that belief in your own potential and the willingness to take action can make all the difference.
Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground today, from the
Mhm.
practical steps outlined in It Works to the inspiring narrative of the magic story, and even the potential for these principles to be applied to larger social challenges. What a fascinating journey.
Indeed, it's been a thought-provoking exploration of the power of belief, action, and perseverance.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive into It Works and the magic story, I'd like to leave our listeners with a few questions to ponder. What are your desires? What do you truly want to create in your life? And what actions can you take starting today to make those desires a reality? Remember, the magic is within you. It's time to tap into it and start creating the life you've always dreamed of. Until next time, keep diving deep, keep believing, and keep asking those big questions.
Yeah, it's exciting. Thinking about the potential of these principles to make a difference on a larger scale. Like you said, though, it starts with individual transformation.
Oh, absolutely. Individual transformation, and I think that's where it works. And the magic story offers such valuable insights.
Valuable insights, okay.
They encourage a proactive approach to shaping our reality.
So it's not about just waiting for good things to happen. It's about actively creating them.
Exactly. Being clear about our desires, cultivating that belief that we can achieve them, and taking consistent action to make them a reality.
Vision, belief, action, they all have to work together. You got it. They all work together. And when those elements align, that's when the magic happens.
That's when the magic happens, yeah.
There's another element that both Jarrett and the author of the magic story emphasize.
What's that?
Perseverance.
Ah, perseverance.
Sticking with it, even when things get tough.
You know, you're right. Because in the magic story, Sturtevant, he faced challenges and setbacks.
Right.
But he didn't give up. He kept believing in himself
Yeah.
and kept moving forward.
Exactly. And the individual's career encounters also faced challenges. But they didn't give up either. They kept going.
It's like that famous quote, "Success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts."
Exactly. You said it. It's not about achieving instant success or avoiding all obstacles. It's about developing a resilient mindset, one that allows us to keep going even when things get tough.
Embracing the journey, not just the destination.
You got it. And the journey itself is often where we see the greatest growth and transformation.
We've been talking about the magic of these stories, but it's not about some mystical force.
Right. No mystical force.
It's about tapping into our own inner power and taking responsibility for creating the lives we want.
Well said. We have agency. We are not just victims of circumstance, but active participants in shaping our own reality.
And that's an incredibly empowering message, isn't it?
It is, and it's a message that resonates across time, across cultures, whether you're a struggling artist or a modern-day entrepreneur. That belief in your own potential and the willingness to take action, that's what makes all the difference.
So I think we've covered a lot of ground today, from the practical steps outlined in this mug, It Works, to the inspiring narrative of the magic story. We even talked about the potential for these principles to be applied to those larger social challenges. What a journey.
It has been quite the journey, a thought-provoking one, exploring the power of belief, action, and perseverance.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into It Works and the magic story, what are your desires? What do you truly want to create in your life? What actions can you take starting today to make those desires a reality? Remember, the magic is within you. It's time to tap into it and start creating the life you've always dreamed of. Until next time, keep diving deep, keep believing, and keep asking those big questions.
Did you get any of that?